Welcome to the Amazing Israel Tours podcast. The podcast for people planning or dreaming about a trip to the Holy Land, and for people who are already in the Holy Land and looking for how to get the most out of being here. I'm Adam Singer, a graduate of the University of Haifa tour guide training course, and I'm here with my co-host Nesanel Eisenman, who has been guiding Israel for more than 10 years and has more licenses than I can count or enumerate. Nesanel, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll start talking about our today's topic, which is the 5 best places to experience Chanukah in the Holy Land.
Wow. Excited to be here, Adam. Nesanel Eisenman, currently living in Ramat Beit Shemesh, been guiding for many, many years. And everyone who I guide has basically one reason: to connect them to the heritage, to the history, to the beauty of the Holy Land, of Eretz Yisrael, to the stories, to the Tanakh. And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit tonight. How to connect those stories. We all know the stories of Chanukah. We heard them since we were in the cradle. But now we're going to try to put those to the land, to actually see the places that they took place, to actually feel what the Maccabees, what the Hashmonaim felt like in those very places. Bayamim Mahim in those days, but Bamakom Hazeh in this place.
Yeah, and I will say that I've been fortunate enough to travel with you to a few different places so
We
far.
have been around.
We went to Beit Guvrin, which I had no idea had any connection to Chanukah whatsoever, and we went to Latrun, which again I had no idea had any connection to Chanukah whatsoever. And you really, your understanding of the stories and the land were so just exciting to be a part of, to be in those places. I don't know if those are on your top 5, but I just want to share how excited I am to be talking to you about this tonight. So let's go. Let's see how we should do this. Do you want to give the 5 out all at once and then go through? I think you should start with number 5 on the list of 1 to 5. The fifth place that you would recommend to go. Great place, a lot of places in Israel, but of the top 5, number 5 on Nesanel Eisenman's places to visit to experience Chanukah in the Holy Land. Number 5, please.
I would say number 5 is actually Yerushalayim.
Wow.
The old city.
Wow. That's number 5. Okay, I want to hear about that. So why? The old city is a big place.
The whole battle.
The whole battle. Okay.
Was about recapturing the Beit HaMikdash. The whole mess was V'tiru es HaMikdash v'edliku neros bechatzros kodshecha. That was the ultimate goal.
It's to capture the temple mount,
the
temple
back
itself,
the Beit HaMikdash,
and to get back the temple and to be able to light the menorah in the temple.
Correct. That's what we celebrate. We celebrate the word Chanukah, the Chanukas ha-Beit HaMikdash, the Chanukah of the reinaugurating.
So if I am not fortunate enough to take a tour with you, heaven forbid, but if I'm on my own and I'm gonna start and get all 5 places. I'm gonna go to the old city, and how am I gonna experience Chanukah in the old city? I have 8 days, 8 nights. This is my Yerushalayim night. What am I gonna do?
So you'll experience it, number 1, the beauty of the old city and seeing the Menorahs and seeing the chanukiot in the window and the children around. And it's a very beautiful thing. And that's obviously you get close to the Kotel and just standing by the Kotel, looking at the Dome of the Rock, looking at Temple Mount, looking at Harabais, you know that's where it happened. Hey, v'hedliku neros bechatzros kodshecha, that's where it's at. It's at right over there. And that's a great feeling. That really is a great feeling. The feeling of that this is what we were fighting for, and the feeling that today we can walk around there as proud Jews and you see little boys and girls lighting their chanukiot 2,100 years later, something like that.
So
that's a great feeling.
So number 5, go to the old city, go down to the Kotel, look up and know you're there. 2,000 years later, the thing that these people fought for, you've almost got, We're not, we're a lot closer than our
Correct.
great-great-grandparents were.
We're not lighting the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash yet.
Right. We're not on the Temple Mount in a temple, but we are here. We are proud owners and possessors of Jerusalem, of the old city of Jerusalem, and we can look and see the place these people fought for and know that we can be there.
Correct.
That's number 5. Number 4.
Number 4, I would say, is the hills and the steep valleys of the Shomron area, of specifically the area of Wadi Harounia, in between the Shiloh area going west towards Neveh Tzuf, Beit Aryeh, those small yeshuvim, what we call Western Shomron, or it's actually under the Mo'etzah of Binyamin, so they do call it Binyamin Ma'arav. But if one would go from Modi'in north or from Shiloh west, kind of that area of the country, what we call the Western Shomron or Western Binyamin. And the reason why I say that area is because when you drive through, just driving through those roads, steep valleys, and you see these winding roads around the mountains, that's what Yehuda and his brothers pulled the Yevanim, the Greek forces, into. They led them and sometimes fooled them into chasing them into these places, or sometimes they didn't have a choice. The Greek soldiers, they were just chasing Yehuda through the mountains. And by Yehuda and his brothers and the Hashmonoim, their understanding of the topography and of the Shetach, specifically in the area of the Shomron, in the area what's in Sefer Maccabees, and Josephus calls it Gufna, and there actually is a Arab-Palestinian village today, just north of Ramallah, just west of Shiloh, called Gufna.
Okay.
That's a Shimor Shem of that area. And you realize, and you really feel that it was Rabim biad matim, it was the many in the hands of the minimum, right? That's what we say in the Alanisum, Rabim biad matim, Giborim biad chaloshim. The Greeks were a organized army and paid and trained, and they had weapons, and the Jews were just a bunch of Kohanim with makeshift weapons. But the Hashmonoim understood the topography. They understood the Shetach. They understood the land. And they knew every twist. When you drive your car down that road, you could just imagine the Hashmonoim understanding that the road turns and the valley twists and turns. And there's a mountain that seems the mountain is right there, but really the road is going to twist, and therefore the mountain is not right there. And they were able to ambush, and they were able to hide. And that's really where their rebellion begins.
So what's that road? Do you know the road? What's the number of that? How, if I wanted to plug that into my GPS and go to that road, how would I do that?
So you would plug in, I would say the best thing is to plug in Yishuv Neveh Tzuf, Moshav. It's a small yishuv, a small settlement in the Benjamin region, just north of Ramallah. It's called Neveh Tzuf.
Neveh Tzuf.
Neveh Tzuf.
Okay, so we'll have to put in the show notes a link to Neveh Tzuf or to the Google Maps. Should people be nervous driving there? Is that something you go?
No, as long as you stay on the Israeli roads, you will have some Palestinian cars driving along with you, but as long as you stay on the main highways, the Israeli roads, you should be fine. And if you come there through the Modi'in area, the west, Tel Aviv, Modi'in, you'll pass it that way. If you come from Jerusalem, you'll probably go through the Shiloh area. And just driving those roads really gives you a real sense that as much as there were miracles, and the oil lasted for 8 days, and there were really miracles, but these were real battles. There was tactics. They poured over plans, Yehuda and his brothers, and you just could feel those plans and those mountains, the way they stare. And by the way, except for a few patches of Arab villages and Jewish yeshuvim, it pretty much looks the same. It's not like Tel Aviv that you got these skyscrapers. It's not like Jerusalem where everything is redone so many times over with roads and bridges and trains and light rails. It's the raw countryside that Yehuda Maccabee saw.
And this is Neveh
Tzuf.
Neveh Tzuf. So Neveh Tzuf is number 4. That's where you can go and actually see almost exactly what the Maccabees would have seen as they were conducting this
Rebellion.
Thank you. This rebellion against the Greeks. Okay, amazing. So number 5, the old city of Jerusalem, the Kotel area. Number 4, Neveh Tzuf. Number 3.
Number 3, I would say, is a small yeshuv just past just past Gush Etzion, a little bit south of Gush Etzion. In between Gush Etzion and Hebron, there's a small Jewish settlement called Karmei Tzur. It's about 10 minutes after Gush Etzion, Tzamet HaGush, and then about 10 minutes before Hebron, off the 60, Karmei Tzur. Karmei Tzur is a small Jewish yeshuv. And if you want to really get the best view, is when you turn off the road to Karmei Tzur, if you put into your Waze, your GPS, Karmei Tzur, just a few minutes before you get into the yeshuv, the settlement, there's a small dirt path to the right. It takes you up to a small spot where there's a small Jewish farm there. So there's Jews there, there's kids hanging out there, and it's a little farm. And they even have this beautiful little gazebo they made.
Wow.
Yeah, you can go there, no problem. It's under, there's IDF soldiers around. It's not a problem. And when you stand there and you look south at the Arab-Palestinian village of Khalkhul, that is where the ruins of the village of Beit Tzur. Karmei Tzur was named after the Jewish village of Beit Tzur. And when you
right.
Beit Tzur. Beit Tzur was a very important battle.
The elephants.
The first time Lilius comes, the Greeks, the Yevanim, come with elephants. To make a long story short, they marched their way up to Beit Tzur. Yehuda is standing exactly where Karmei Tzur is today, on that hill.
Wow.
He's looking south at Lilius. He's praying to God. He's praying. These people have thousands of trained soldiers. I'm just me and my pack of Jews. What do you have, a couple hundred maybe? And they just charge. They charge at the Greeks. And Lilius, and the Greeks turn around. The Greeks recede.
They retreat.
They retreat. They pull back. They pull back down the mountain. And then Yehuda turns to his brothers. And this is straight from Sefer Maccabees. Yehuda turns to his brothers and says, hey, they're retreating. Let's go to Jerusalem and let's take back the temple.
Oh, that's the turning point.
That's the turning point. It's the turning point in the war. And you're just looking down south and you're looking southwest, and you could just imagine Yehuda seeing the Greek soldiers retreating to the coastal plains, and then him turning the car around, heading back to Jerusalem with this excitement. We're going to Jerusalem. We're taking back the Beit HaMikdash. We're taking back the temple.
Right.
And it's such an amazing sight. It's just an amazing place to stand, because the stories, Chanukah is the only Yom Tov, the only holiday that we have that we can do this. I mean, we ain't going to Egypt now.
Right.
And going out of Mitzrayim and splitting the sea.
Right.
We're not going to Har Sinai and standing there.
Right. And we're not going to
Iran.
Iran, or was it Iran or Iraq where the Purim story took place?
Yeah. Well, we're not going
wherever
to
it is, we're going to the place. Right. Exactly. Right.
Over here, we can just stand in these places. So Karmei Tzur is on my list. It's on my list.
Karmei Tzur is number 3. So there you can actually be in the place. So again, and this is where I can tell a great guide. It's not just going to Karmei Tzur. It's the little dirt road off of, as you enter into Karmei Tzur, you go over there. There's a gazebo, and that's where you can see the look south, and you can see the view that Judah Maccabee would have had to know that he's in position to fight. Is this where Eliezer?
That was the next battle, but that same area.
Okay.
The same area.
This is Karmei Tzur. So you put in your GPS, Karmei Tzur, in your Waze, Karmei Tzur. Get there. You should look for a little dirt path as you're entering into the Yishuv, into the little village over there. And you look south in that gazebo, and you should see what Judah Maccabee saw. So now we've done Jerusalem, the Kotel. We've done Neveh Tzuf, and now Karmei Tzur, and now number 2 on Nesanel Eisenman's list of places to experience Chanukah.
Finally, Modi'in.
Where it all began.
Now I know there's a big machlokus in historians. where is the Modi'in of the Chanukah story? And there's about 15 different shitos, 15 different ideas exactly where it is. But let's just go with the simple one, that Modi'in of today is more or less where the Modi'in of the city of the Maccabees, of the Hashmonaim, Matisyahu, one of where the Hashmonaim lived. And if we go today to a place called El Umdim, Chirvat El Umdim.
Chirvat El Umdim.
You can put that into Waze. It's in
Okay.
the city of Modi'in. You can just drive right up there. There's a parking lot. It's just kind of like the edge of Modi'in.
Okay.
And over there it's really just a 10-minute walk around this small archaeological park.
Okay.
That was discovered not too long ago, about 20-something years ago, when they were redoing the roads over there. And they discovered they uncovered, an archaeologist came, and they discovered a small Jewish settlement dating back, the style of building, the pottery, etc., to the times of the Hashmonaim, to the times of the, 165 or wherever we are, midway by Sheni, midway by Second Temple.
Right.
They found over there a mikveh, and they found over there what we believe to be is the Beit HaKnesset.
Oh,
the
wow.
shul of perhaps the Beit HaKnesset, the main building of this small agricultural Jewish village.
Wow.
And it's pretty much destroyed. There's no roof and no walls, but you can see the frame of it. You can get a taste of the frame and the floor and the mikveh next door to it. And you stand there in that shul and you just listen. And you can hear the words of Matisyahu telling his children, we are going to rebel. Mi Lashem Elai. That's very possible that's where it happened.
In that very room.
In that very room.
Wow. Okay, that's number 2.
That's number 2.
So what's number 1?
Number 1 is the mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
Now, if you want to get there, you have to put into Waze Kever Shmuel Hanavi.
Really?
Nebi Samuel. And if you put into Waze Nebi Samuel, Waze will take you to after Ramot, Kever Shmuel Hanavi. I'm sure many of the listeners have been there. There's this big building, Kever Shmuel Hanavi. Hasidim are praying. It's a mosque also. There's ancient ruins. There's all things going on over there.
Right.
But I don't think it's Kever Shmuel Hanavi.
You're not the only one. I've heard others who
Correct.
had that opinion as well.
We'll leave that on the side.
Okay.
I believe it's the mitzvah, the viewpoint, the high point, that no less than Shmuel Hanavi, the prophet Samuel, came and prayed and davened after he appointed Shaul HaMelech. Now the Jews had a king. They needed a lot of prayer. And Shmuel goes there. And the Sefer HaMaccabim tells us the first major battle that takes place between the Greeks and the Hashmonaim is in Emek Ayalon, in Emmaus.
Okay.
Down below by Latrun.
Okay.
That would be number 6, but you only asked me for 5.
We'll have to maybe do a
Maybe we'll do the second one. The first major battle, the war starts, the merit starts, they hide here, they go to Gufna, this, that, and then the army comes, and the army camps in Emmaus, where Latrun is
Greek
today.
army
The Greek army,
Emmaus.
Gregorius, thousands of men, and Yehuda brings his brothers and his men, which were a small pack of guys, to the mitzvah, to this high point, and he overlooks. And you can see standing on the roof of the building, what we call today Kever Shmuel Navi, you can see very clearly the city of Modi'in, Latrun, Emmaus, Emek Ayalon. It's all right below you. And you can take out a Sefer HaMaccabim, and you can download it on your phone, and you could actually read the words of Judah Maccabee, of Yehuda Maccabee, saying the psukim, in Parshas Kitzetse, when you go to a Milchama, when you go to war, whoever's just got engaged, go home. Whoever's scared, go home. And they're counting the men, and they're fasting, and they're praying in the spot where Shmuel Hanavi prayed hundreds and hundreds of years before. So they're connecting their heritage back to Shmuel Hanavi. And it's just a whole parak in Sefer HaMaccabim, which is so beautiful. I know we can talk a different podcast, what exactly is Sefer HaMaccabim, but it's beautiful. The way Yehuda realizes this is the first major battle. This was the moment that we're at war. We are at war. There's thousands of them down there, hundreds of us up here, And I think that's really where the Chanukah story begins. Of course, Milah Shem Elai, and it begins a lot of places, but in terms of the war, and standing up there and just seeing the coastal plains, and then you turn your head east, and you see Yerushalayim. You see Yerushalayim. So Yehuda sees the Beis HaMikdash. Today we can't, we from that spot today, you can't like see the Kotel or anything because it's all built up. It's all buildings.
There's buildings between you and there, but you can see buildings that are between you
correct.
and
you can see Har HaZeisim. You can see the top of Har HaZeisim. So we had a view of the Beit HaMikdash, which is now in the hands of the Greeks. He then turned his head west and can see tens of thousands of Greek soldiers on their way up, and he begins to pray. And he begins to pray, and they begin to cry, and they're fasting. They're getting ready for battle. They're doing what a Jew does when he gets ready for battle. They pray, they fast, they do tshuva, and they're sharpening their swords.
Wow. That's the real place where the resolve of what becomes the Hanukkah miracle is really takes shape. It's left Modi'in, now it's in the place where it's really taking shape. You can see where they're going, where they want to get to, how they're going to get there. There's tefillah, there's prayer, there's action, there's strategy. That's where it all happens.
Right, and that's really, throughout Jewish history, right? Yaakov Avinu, there's prayer, there's tshuva, and there's action.
Beautiful. Quick question. If you can't make it here, if you can't make it to Yerushalayim, you can't make it to Karmei Tzur, you can't make it to any of these places, and you're stuck someplace outside of Israel, and you can get your hands on one book, one way to connect with this holiday, to deepen your experience this year. If you can't be in the land, what's that book?
Sefer HaMaccabim Aleph.
In English or in Hebrew? Where do you find it?
These days, I'm sure you can get it online.
Okay.
It's part
so we'll put links in the show notes.
You can put links in the show notes. We can maybe perhaps do a podcast on who wrote and what is Sefer HaMaccabim Aleph, Beis Gimel Daled. But Sefer, I think personally, I'll tell you personally, I learned, thank God, a lot of history, and I went to lots of courses and did lots of things. Every year, Hanukkah time, I reread Sefer HaMaccabim Aleph.
Wow.
Just to get it. It's just a great book. It's a great book, and we know it's not part of our Tanakh. It's not part of our literature, but it was written by Jews. It was written by our people. There's no doubt about it. It was written by, it was written by our people, good people, who were on our side. So to read it is great. It's great. It's not a Sefer Kodesh, but it's a Jewish history book.
It's a good history. Okay. And I think our next to-do item is to go to one of these places. Where do you want to go next?
I would say the area of Gufna.
Gufna?
Gufna, Shomron, Neveh, Tzuf, only because I've never really done any good videos there.
Okay.
And it's just a cool place.
Okay, so check out Amazing Israel Tours on, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and look for our next video of Gufna.
Bezrat Hashem, and also, Bezrat Hashem, many more podcasts, including some other guests. We got lots of tour guides out there, lots of good guys out there. We got to get on this. We got to get on the show.
Can't wait. In the meantime, check us out. Reach out if you're looking for a tour at amazingisraeltours.com. And we can't wait to see you on the next podcast.